Hi, some thoughts for today, the sixth Sunday in Trinity. Let's tidy your room, shall we? Do we have to? Why? The room looks fine. No, it does not look fine. We need to tidy it up. It is no wonder you can't find anything. Tidying up is an activity that, although it is necessary, it is not always greeted with great enthusiasm or positivity. Well, your friend can't come round unless you help tidy up. The trump card is played. The world holds its breath. Oh, all right then. However, away from the home, there are many people who want to tidy up. One Japanese lady, Marie Kondo, has made a small fortune about the art of serious tidying up. Her book, The Life-Changing Magic of Cleaning, claims that tidying our home can change and enhance our relationships, our well-being, and our spiritual and emotional state. Now, those reluctant attitudes about tidying up I mentioned earlier have been transformed for our girls, who are now dedicated followers of Mrs. Hinch and her cleaning and tidying tips and advice. The workers in today's parable from Jesus are anxious also to do some tidying up for the farmer. They are horrified at the sight of these weeds growing in the field with the wheat. How dare they? Let's rip them out and put them in their proper place, either the compost heap or the bonfire. Much to their amazement and disappointment, the farmer says, no, let them grow together and we will deal with them at harvest time. Like the workers in today's story, we do have a tendency to divide people up into two categories, wheat or weeds, saints or sinners. Once we've done that, we feel the need to do some tidying up, to discard. That's that sorted, an attitude summed up by Martin Luther King, who wrote, "Nothing pains some people more than having to think." Throughout our own lifetime, we have seen the awful destruction and suffering caused by creating such divisions and the resulting desire to tidy up. Also, do you remember James and John, who have an interesting way of dealing with people who did not like them? Remember, they were approaching a Samaritan village, and the villagers criticized Jesus and his disciples for worshipping in Jerusalem and not on Mount Gerizim. Jesus wants to move on, but not James and John. They want to call down fire and blow them up. I expect we may share their attitude sometimes in some situations. Let's blast them. Jesus says no. He could have looked at the crew around him, and probably at different times he could have done some tidying up and blasted each one of them. And perhaps not many of them would have survived. Poor Peter never seemed to get it, then denied Jesus. Thomas had too many doubts. Matthew was a hated tax collector. James and John way too hot-headed. Simon had terrorist leanings. They all had their weeds. Later on in the early church, they too could have done some serious tidying up by getting rid of this maniac Paul. He persecuted the church in the beginning, and when he became an apostle, there was trouble and uproar everywhere he went. In the Acts of the Apostles, Luke writes, you can either have Paul or peace. Jesus had been around people long enough to know they were a wonderful mixture of good and not so good, wise and crazy, kind and not so kind. Jesus believed in them. He knows them, and despite all their weakness, he loved them. Recently, I came across this painting by Van Gogh, Starry Night. Van Gogh could have been tidied up, discarded because of his problems that he was trying to deal with. Eventually, they did lead to his own suicide. And this picture was painted at a time when he had hospitalized himself. From his window and his genius comes this painting. Now try and listen to Coldplay's A Sky Full of Stars. And perhaps some of Chris Martin's words are coming from Jesus as he says to us, "You are a sky full of stars." Each of you can shine in so many ways. Each of us can light the darkness and direct the path of truth. Stars are all precious, all unique, all shine their own light, play their part. Stars should keep us humble and quiet in wonder and appreciation. We all have our faults, our weeds, but despite that, God has chosen us to be his sky full of stars. Keep well, keep safe, and God bless.